All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says preemptive, proactive and collective approach by central and state governments is the mantra for victory against COVID. Centre reviews preparedness on migrant workers with state and union territories in view of COVID surge. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 155 crore 28 lakh mark. NEET undergraduate medical counselling to begin on 19th January. Election Commission to issue notification for first phase of assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh today. 6 people killed and 31 injured as Guwahati Bikaner Express derails near New Domohani in West Bengal. Railway Minister to visit the accident site today. Makkar Sankranti, Bihu and Pongal being celebrated today. Ministry of Ayush hosts first ever global Surya Namaskar event on the occasion. And in cricket, South Africa need 111 runs on day 4 to win the third decisive test against India in Cape Town. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed confidence that India will definitely emerge victorious against COVID with everyone's efforts. He was interacting with chief ministers of all states last evening through video conferencing.
हमारा एकमात्र पथ है और विजय एकमात्र विकल्प. हम 130 करोड़ भारत के लोग अपने प्रयासों से कोरोना से जीतकर अवश्य निकलेंगे और आप सबसे जो बातें मैंने सुनी हैं उसमें भी वही विश्वास प्रकट हो रहा है.
Mr. Modi said India's battle with the biggest pandemic of 100 years has now entered its 3rd year and hard work is the only path and victory the only option. He said the earlier skepticism about Omicron is now slowly getting cleared. He added that the Omicron variant is infecting people at several times faster rate than the previous variant. The Prime Minister said the preemptive, proactive and collective approach adopted by central and state governments last time is the mantra of victory this time as well.
पहले केंद्र और राज्य सरकारों ने जिस तरह प्रिएम्प्टिव, प्रोएक्टिव और कलेक्टिव अप्रोच अपनाई है वही इस समय की जीत का मंत्र है. कोरोना संक्रमण को हम जितना सीमित रख पाएंगे परेशानी उतनी ही कम होगी. हमें जागरूकता के फ्रंट पर साइंस आधारित जानकारियों को बल देने के साथ ही अपने मेडिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को, मेडिकल मैन पावर को स्केल अप करते ही रहना पड़ेगा.
Mr. Modi said Made in India vaccines are proving their superiority all over the world. He said it is a matter of pride for everyone that India has given the first dose to about 92% of the adult population. The Prime Minister said this shows India's potential and preparedness to deal with this challenge. He also laid stress on intensifying the Har Ghar Dastak campaign for 100% vaccination. Regarding health infrastructure, the Prime Minister lauded the states for using the 23,000 crore rupees package that was given earlier to revamp the health infrastructure. The Prime Minister also stressed the need to keep on expanding the infrastructure. He said that along with tackling Omicron, there is a need to start preparing for any future variant from now on itself. The Chief Ministers thanked the Prime Minister for his leadership during the successive waves of COVID-19. The Chief Ministers talked about preparedness to tackle increasing cases through steps like increase in beds and oxygen availability.
The Centre has reviewed the status of preparedness with states and union territories about migrant workers following the surge in COVID-19 cases. Secretary, Minister of Labour and Employment, Sunil Bhartwal, chaired the coordination meeting with states and UTs through video conferencing. The states informed that barring night curfews and weekend curfews at few places, there are no restrictions on construction, business or industrial activities in the country. They informed, so far, there is no report of unusual movement of migrant workers at present owing to the limited restrictions imposed by the governments. The ministry said the business situation is normal throughout the country except 50% restrictions on workforce at some places. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 155 crore 28 lakh mark yesterday. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia said it is a new achievement for India in the new year. In a tweet, he congratulated Team India for this achievement. Dr. Mandavia also appealed to the people to keep up this momentum and get vaccinated if they have not received it. Out of the total vaccination, more than 90 crore 11 lakh vaccine doses were administered as first dose, while 64 crore 84 lakh doses were given as second dose. The Union Health Ministry said more than 33 lakh 12,000 precaution doses for the identified categories of beneficiaries for COVID vaccination have been administered so far. Over 3 crore 12 lakh vaccine doses have been given to children aged 15 to 18 years so far.
Over 3 crore children between the age group of 15 to 18 years have received the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said that there is a great sense of responsibility and enthusiasm among young India. The Union Health Ministry has said that mild and asymptomatic people need to be in home isolation. In an exclusive interview to AIR News, Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry Love Agarwal said a person having moderate and severe symptoms only needs hospitalization.
Only mild or asymptomatic people should go for home isolation. If you are having moderate or severe symptoms, you need hospitalization. Second aspect is, who are the set of people who should go for home isolation? So these are people who have sufficient rooms within their house where a positive person can remain in effective isolation in a very ventilated state, and there is also room available within that house for quarantine for other family members. Third aspect is that there should be a caregiver to provide support to the person who is positive, and this caregiver, as we have specifically highlighted, he should preferably be a person who has completed his vaccination schedule.
Talking about the salient features of the revised guidelines for home isolation of mild and asymptomatic COVID-19 cases, Mr. Agarwal said patients should remain isolated in a separate room having proper ventilation. He said patients must use a triple-layer mask and it must be discarded after 8 hours of use.
It is very important to focus on how the mask has to be discarded. So you should put that mask, cut into pieces so that it cannot be reused. Put it in a paper bag, put it for 72 hours. By that time we expect that the germs which are there on the mask will not be surviving, and then dispose it off as the general waste. Otherwise it should not become a reason for us to pass on the infection generally because of this biomedical waste.
Mr. Agarwal urged the patients to use telemedicine facilities like eSanjeevani and be in touch with the treating doctors. He said if the temperature is not stabilizing even after taking the medicines, the patient must immediately consult the doctor. The full interview with the Joint Secretary of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Love Agarwal, can be heard in the Spotlight program today from 9:15 p.m. onwards on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies. This program will also be available on our website, newsonair.gov.in, and on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.
A total of 28,867 new cases of coronavirus infection were reported in the national capital yesterday. Delhi government said during the last 24 hours, more than 22,000 people recovered and 31 deaths were reported in the city. Presently, the total number of active cases of COVID-19 in the national capital is over 94,000. A total of over 1,63,000 beneficiaries were inoculated for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours in Delhi. With this, Over 2 crore 80 lakh beneficiaries have been vaccinated so far. The Maharashtra government has asked the centre to provide 50 lakh vials of Covishield and 40 lakh vials of Covaxin vaccines in order to combat the spread of Omicron variant of COVID-19 in the state. The State Public Health Minister Rajesh Tope informed this after attending the virtual meeting called by Prime Minister Narendra Modi with Chief Ministers and Health Ministers of different states yesterday. He said the centre should give directions to the states on standard treatment protocol. Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has announced that counselling for National Eligibility cum Entrance Test undergraduate NEET UG by Medical Counselling Committee will start from 19 January 2022. In a tweet, he said that all these students are the future of the country. He also hoped that all of them will give a new direction to their career with the mantra of service is duty. Dr. Mandavia also extended his best wishes to all the students.
Election Commission will issue notification for the first phase of the assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh today, kick-starting the 7-phase election process in the state. 58 assembly constituencies of 11 districts will go for voting in the first phase on February 10. The districts going to polls in the first phase are Shamli, Meerut, Muzaffarnagar, Bagpat, Hapur, Ghaziabad, Gautam Budh Nagar, Bulandshahr, Mathura, Agra and Aligarh. The last date for filing the nomination for the first phase of the polls is 21st of January and the last date for withdrawal of the candidature is 27th of January. Scrutiny of nomination papers will be held on 24th of January. Political parties have started releasing the list of their candidates. The Congress released its first list of 125 candidates yesterday. The Samajwadi Party and Rashtriya Lok Dal Alliance have also announced the names of 29 candidates. BJP's Central Election Committee has also finalized the names of its candidates in a meeting held in New Delhi during the last 3 days and will release the list soon. The Bahujan Samaj Party has announced that it will not forge any alliance in the state and that it will contest the polls on its own. Party President Mayawati and senior leader and MP Satish Chandra Mishra will not contest the elections. Shiv Sena can field 50 to 100 candidates in the state. Senior party leader and MP Sanjay Raut has said the party will not join any alliance in the state. Uttar Pradesh has a total of 403 assembly seats. Over 15 crore voters will exercise their franchise during the polls in the state.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says preemptive, proactive and collective approach by central and state governments is the mantra for victory against COVID. Centre reviews preparedness on migrant workers with state and union territories in view of COVID surge. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 155 crore 28 lakh mark. NEET undergraduate medical counselling to begin on 19 January. Election Commission to issue notification for first phase of assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh today. 6 people killed and 31 injured as Guwahati Bikaner Express derails near New Domohani in West Bengal. Railway Minister to visit the accident site today. Makar Sankranti, Bihu and Pongal being celebrated today. Ministry of Ayush hosts first ever global Surya Namaskar event on the occasion. And in cricket, South Africa need 111 runs on day 4 to win the third decisive test against India in Cape Town. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
The Guwahati Bikaner Express train derailed near New Domohani railway station in West Bengal yesterday evening. 6 people lost their lives and 31 were injured in the accident. According to railway officials, train number 15633 Up Express left New Domohani station at around 5 p.m. It derailed while running in the block section between New Domohani and New Menaguri stations. The evacuation of passengers has been completed. A special train left from the accident site towards Guwahati at around 10 p.m. yesterday, carrying 290 stranded passengers. Dinner was served by the railways to the distressed passengers. The accident relief train and medical van have reached the accident site. Some of the trains are being diverted through alternative routes. A high-level railway safety inquiry has been ordered into the accident. Meanwhile, Railway Minister Ashwani Vaishnav has announced ex gratia relief of 5 lakh rupees each to the next of the kin of those killed and 1 lakh rupees to those grievously injured and 25,000 rupees to simply injured. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to Ashwani Vaishnav last evening and took stock of the situation in the wake of the train accident. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said his thoughts are with the bereaved families and hoped for the injured to recover quickly. The Indian Railways has issued a helpline number. They are 0361 2731 622 and 2731 623. Railway Minister Ashwani Vaishnav, Railway Board Chairman V.K. Tripathi and DG Safety will reach the site of the accident this morning. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every
In today's episode, we remember revolutionary freedom fighter Mathai Manjooran, who died on the 14th of January 1970. A dynamic trade union leader, Mathai was jailed for months for taking part in the Kisan labour movement soon after his graduation in 1933. Later, he was imprisoned several times during the freedom struggle when he formed the Kerala Socialist Party. He was twice prohibited from entering the
Manjooran became a member of the Legislative Assembly, winning the election from the Madai constituency in Kannur, Kerala. He also became a member of the Rajya Sabha in 1952. In 1967, he became Minister of Labour and held the portfolio for 2 years. He continued working for the welfare of people till his death in January 1970. AIR salutes the great nationalist.
We also remember eminent writer Mahashweta Devi, who was born on the 14th of January 1926. She used creative expression as a tool to fight for the rights of the oppressed people.
Mahashweta Devi was born to poet and novelist Manish Ghatak. Her mother, Dharitri Devi, was also a renowned writer and a social worker. Mahashweta Devi was influenced by her childhood association with Gananatya, a group who attempted to bring social and political theatre to rural villages in Bengal in the 1930s and 1940s. After finishing her master's degree in English literature from Calcutta University, Mahashweta began working as a teacher and journalist.
भिन्न भिन्न शत षড়যন্ত্রের জাল যেন কানে মুক্তি আলো আনে কানে লক্ষ্য শত প্রাণে শত লক্ষ্য কোটি প্রাণে আমার প্রতিবাদের ভাষা.
Her first book, Jhansi Rani, The Queen of Jhansi, that was published in 1956, traced the history of the growing resistance to the British. It is a very personal history of Lakshmi Bai, an unusual woman, widowed at an early age, who grew from a free-spirited child into an independent young leader. She is showcased as a far-sighted leader, full of warm concern for her soldiers, as well as a mother who worries about her infant son's well-being.
Her 1977 novel Aranyar Adhikar, Right to the Forest, was based on the life of tribal freedom fighter Bhagwan Birsa Munda. It chronicled the turbulent period of the late 19th century and particularly the tribal armed uprising against the British.
Mahashweta Devi published 20 collections of short stories and close to 100 novels, primarily in her native language Bengali. Her most notable works are Hajar Chaurasir Ma, Rudali, Murti and Aranyar Adhikar.
Over the course of her life, Mahashweta Devi was felicitated with several awards for her contribution to the literary world, such as Sahitya Academy Award, Gyanpith Award, Ramon Magsaysay Award, along with India's civilian awards Padma Shri and Padma Vibhushan. We salute the great champion of common people.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
स्वाधीनता आंदोलन के दौरान भारतीय जनमानस को उत्प्रेरित कर स्वतंत्रता का अलख जगाने और मातृभूमि के प्रति सेवा, समर्पण और त्याग की ज्वाला प्रज्वलित कर देने वाले अमर गीतों पर आधारित विशेष कार्यक्रम आजादी के तराने सुनना न भूलें. FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर प्रत्येक शुक्रवार शाम 4:45 पर परिक्रमा कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत आजादी के तराने सिर्फ आकाशवाणी पर.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
Makar Sankranti, Bihu and Pongal being celebrated various parts of the country today. On this auspicious day, the Ministry of Ayush hosted the first ever global Surya Namaskar demonstration program as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. More than 1 crore people participated in the global Surya Namaskar program. The Surya Namaskar is a set of 8 asanas performed in 12 steps with coordination of the body and mind. The program was organized by the Ministry of Ayush under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations. All leading yoga institutes, both from India and abroad, participated in this worldwide program. Speaking on the occasion, Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal said the government is committed to strengthen the health of people. Minister of State for Ayush, Dr. Munjipara Mahendrabhai Kalubhai said that Surya Namaskar is one of the important practices of yoga. He said it improves the fitness of the body. In Assam, the Magh or Bhogali Bihu is being celebrated across the state with traditional fervour and gaiety. People from all sections of life have participated in the joyous celebration of the post-harvest festival. Traditional meji and bhela ghar made of thatch and woods have been set on fire amidst chanting of prayers. Community feasts were organized last night on the occasion of Uruka. In Tamil Nadu, the beginning of the month Tai, marking the onset of spring harvest season, is celebrated as Pongal. The season is celebrated for 3 days. Today, the people offer their harvest to the sun in the morning. We have more from our correspondent.
Pongal festival is mainly a festivity that is connected with harvest and agriculture. Pongal is a menu cooked with milk, rice, moong dal, jaggery and ghee in painted rice pots in traditional clay stoves outside the houses under the sugarcane pandal. Pongal means overflowing. That is why Thai Pirandal Vali Pirakkum is an old saying which means the birth of this month will make a way for things to be accomplished. Colorful rangolis can be seen in front of houses. Festoons are made with new mango leaves and turmeric leaves signifying prosperity and happiness. Tomorrow is Mattu Pongal for the cattle which help the farmers in ploughing the fields. The last day of the Pongal season is Kanum Pongal where people visit their relatives and spend time together. Now that the pandemic has created a challenging time, people have been stuck inside homes glued to the TV sets or watching a new blockbuster on OTT platforms. Joy, AN News, Chennai.
India and the UK have formally launched negotiations for a free trade agreement between the two countries. A joint statement of Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal and UK Secretary of State for International Trade Anne Marie Trevelyan said the free trade agreement would be a substantial opportunity for both economies and a significant moment in the bilateral relationship. According to the statement, India-UK bilateral trading relationship is already significant and both sides have agreed to double it by 2030 as part of a roadmap 2030 announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in May last year.
In cricket, chasing the target of 212 runs set by India, South Africa were 101 for 2 in their second innings at stumps on day 3 of the decisive third test against India at the Newlands in Cape Town. Proteas skipper Dean Elgar was removed by Jasprit Bumrah on the last ball of day 3 after adding 78 runs with Keegan Peterson for the second wicket. Peterson with 48 is currently unbeaten at the crease. Mohammad Shami is the other wicket taker for India in the fourth innings.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky. The temperatures will hover between -4 and 9 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 5 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 20 degrees. Leh is likely to have partly cloudy sky. The minimum and maximum temperatures will hover between -16 and -4 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. The temperatures will hover between 1 and 8 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 2 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 17 degrees. The national capital Delhi had dense fog. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature was 18 degrees while the maximum will be around 28 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperatures will vary between 24 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The city observed minimum temperature of 16 degrees while the maximum may go up to 22 degrees. Bengaluru had fog and mist in the morning and will have partly cloudy sky later. Guwahati will have generally cloudy sky with haze. Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with light rain.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Most newspapers today have led with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's meeting with chief ministers on the COVID situation. Be proactive, but don't panic, Modi tells CMs, writes the Hindustan Times. COVID fight must not hamper economic activities, PM tells CMs, informs the Pioneer. Most papers have also highlighted the Indian States of Forests Report 2021 released yesterday. Since 2019, loss in dense forests higher than gain in net cover, headlines the Indian Express. Forest cover up by 0.28% in last 2 years, informs the Hindustan Times. And finally, the Hindu has carried a photograph of villagers taking part in community fishing on the eve of Magh Bihu in Assam.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says preemptive, proactive and collective approach by central and state governments is the mantra for victory against COVID. Centre reviews preparedness on migrant workers with state and union territories in view of COVID surge. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 155 crore 28 lakh mark. NEET undergraduate medical counselling to begin on 19th January. Election Commission to issue notification for first phase of assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh today. 6 people killed and 31 injured as Guwahati Bikaner Express derails near New Domohani in West Bengal. Railway Minister to visit the accident site today. Makar Sankranti, Bihu and Pongal being celebrated today. Ministry of Ayush hosts first ever global Surya Namaskar event on the occasion. And in cricket, South Africa need 111 runs on day 4 to win the third decisive test against India in Cape Town. And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.